Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Veronique. In this space, what I do is I test makeup for a mature skin. I'm on the hunt for makeup that works well for this phase of my life. I'm 50 and I'm finding that products that I used to use when I was in my 20s and 30s don't serve me as well as what they used to. So in today's video, I have got some brand new products from Catrice, and I have got one or two that are absolutely fabulous that work really well on this mature skin. So without any further chit chat, let's get into this video. So right off the bat, I'm going to apologize in advance. I have the windows open in my studio this morning because it is quite hot here in Johannesburg today. So if you are hearing cooing noises from the pigeons, which are the bane of my existence at the moment, or you hear other noises, it is what it is. I can't film today with windows closed. Right, so we jump right in. Okay, so I have got a whole stack of new products. I'm quite excited. I have got a brand new foundation. I have not tried this foundation. I have been hunting high and low for my shade, and I eventually found it yesterday, so we'll try that out together. But before I start on the foundation side of life, I'm going to do my brows. The first product that I'm going to use this morning is going to be the Brow & Sleek Laminating Wax. This guy, let's just have a look. I wrote the prices down so that I can give you a good review this morning. This one retails for 105 Rand, so a really good deal. It comes with two little brushes on the top, as well as the brush that you apply the product with. Very skinny little brush. Product looks a little bit opaque, but once you pop it on your brows, it dries down clear. So let's pop that on. I have worn this once before, and I did find that I did not enjoy the little brushes on top of the applicator, these ones here. I found what they just did is they took the product off. I think that this little spoolie works really well. As you can see, it's so quick and so easy. I am going to do a wear test today because I have got a new foundation. So we'll see how well this actually stays throughout the day. But quick and easy brows are done. I have cleaned my brows, made sure that there is no sunscreen or moisturizer in there. I just used a tissue just before I started filming. I will say that I quite enjoy the texture of this particular product. I find that it doesn't mess on top of my brows or underneath, so there isn't much cleanup after I've used the product. So that's a good positive for this product. Right, next up, what I'm going to do is I am going to prime. There's a new primer out. It is called the Aqua Splash Grip Primer, hydrating it says, and this one retails for 114 Rand. I will say, of all the products that I have bought today, and I have bought them all myself, it's not a sponsored video, I'm just really on the hunt for something that works well on the skin. Nothing on my list is over 200 Rand. It is astounding actually that the products are as affordable as they are. So with the primer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to prime one side of my face, is what I usually do. I have used this once before. I thought I would test it out with a skin tint because they generally are not as long wearing. And I tried it out with a new Wet n Wild skin tint. I am a big fan of that skin tint. It is stunning. I'll link the video for you up here and you can go and have a look and see how well that works on a mature skin. So let's pop this on. So as you can see, it goes on clear. It has got a slight fragrance. It smells like cucumbers, but it's not too overpowering. It's actually quite a soothing smell, and it feels quite soothing on the skin. And I will say that it is quite tacky. So it has got a bit of grip there. Right, so now we are going to try our new foundation, which as I said previously, have hunted high and low. When they first came out about 3-4 weeks ago, this shade 40N was sold out almost immediately. I will say that the shade range is quite dismal. I have only been able to find the foundation at the Dischem side. I haven't seen them at Clicks just yet, so I got mine from Dischem, and this one retails for a whopping 140 Rand. Is that right? Yeah, 139.95. Gosh, that's very cheap for a foundation. So apparently this foundation, it says, let's have a quick read, it's a natural matte finish. It has 16 hours of comfortable wear and it is hydrating. It has hyaluronic acid in it, and apparently it is also transfer proof. Medium coverage, and it is buildable. So let's give it an open. Okay, lovely. Glass bottle, as you can see, and a pump applicator. And let's see what this looks like when it comes out. I've got high hopes for this color. So that coverage looks quite good. Let's pop it on. So I'm going to pop it on the side with a primer. I'm going to use a dampened beauty sponge, and on the other side I'm going to try it out with a brush. Here we go. We go side by side. So on first application I didn't even use the whole pump. I am very impressed with what my skin looks like. The color match is absolutely fantastic. Definitely is my right shade. My skin is in a little bit of a state. I did have a facial yesterday with a bit of a peel and some extractions done, so maybe it's a good day that I'm wearing a little bit of a fuller coverage foundation. I'm quite keen to see how well it builds, but side by side I actually think that looks lovely. It doesn't look too drying for a matte foundation, and my pores aren't exaggerated. It went on very nicely over the primer. Let's see how well this does on the other side with no primer. I think I'm just going to add a little bit more, and let's get going. That blends absolutely effortlessly with both tools. I am going to now just quickly build up where I want a little bit more coverage. So I'm going to take what's left and let's just pop it on those little spots quickly. I'm going to take a little bit more. This foundation builds beautifully. I am very impressed with what my skin looks like. Gosh, it looks so beautiful. What I'm going to quickly do off camera is I'm going to quickly pop a little bit of concealer on. I'm just going to use an old favorite by Maybelline, and then we are going to come back with what I think is going to be a star product. My eyes are now done, and I have now found a powder that works really well on a mature skin. If you have watched any of my videos where I have done anything complexion related, I've always set my under eyes with the Huda Beauty Easy Bake and Snatch, I think it's called. It is a pressed powder and it is a pink color, but it is quite expensive, and I know it is not available to everybody, and I've hit pan on that, and it really has been my go-to powder. And then I found this Catrice Bright and Blur. This one retails for 125 Rand, and it is, oh gosh, it's pink in color. I don't know if you can see that. It does have a fragrance. It's almost like, it smells like very faintly of strawberry milk, if I can say that. Doesn't offend me, and it's not a very pungent fragrance. So what I've been doing, how I use this, is I take a small little brush and pop it into the powder, tap the excess off, then in the lid I just try and get as much powder into the brush itself, then tap off a bit more. You can see quite a bit of product comes off. What this powder does is, for me, it seems to blur my pores, and it definitely does set my concealer. And then if I just pop it on my T-zone, it works like a bomb. So on the side that's got my primer, that's where I'm going to use the powder. A quick little makeup tip that I have picked up is that before we set our under eyes, we need to make sure that that concealer is pretty much all the way into your skin. So stamp it as much as you possibly can and make sure that it has not settled into any of your creases. And then what I do, sometimes people say that you can open your mouth just to try and make sure the skin is completely flat. So what I do is I just pull my skin down a little bit and I just look up and I just very gently pat the powder in and then take it down over where the pores bug the daylights out of me, and then just underneath my nose and just around my lips a little bit. And for me, I think I can see a blurred effect. What do you think? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this under eye as well. I'm just going to use what's left in the brush, but I am not going to set anywhere else on the foundation. I want to see how the foundation goes for those of you who do not enjoy using a powder. So I'm just going to make sure that my concealer has completely blended in properly. I do find this eye more than this eye has got a few more creases. I don't know how it all works, but anyway, so here we go. Just again, just gently tapping that in just underneath the eyes. There you go, and that concealer is set. Next step is a bronzer. This is the Holiday Skin 4-in-1 Luminizer. This one retails for 100 Rand. Apparently this one can be used to bronze, to contour, or to highlight. I find this works better as a bronzer. The tone for me is better as a bronzer on my skin tone. It's got quite a nice reddish bronzy shade, which I quite enjoy. I have tried this product before. I did try it underneath my foundation and I wasn't a mad fan of how that came out. In fact, I couldn't really see much of a change. So I prefer to actually use this as a bronzer over my foundation. So what I do is I just pop a little bit on my hand and then I'm going to load up my brush. Just get it really into that brush like that. And then just stamp it onto my skin where I usually put my bronzer, which is just on the high points of my cheek and a little bit just on above my temple. And I found with this one it's actually quite nice. You can build it up if you want to, but I find that it gives a very natural flush to the face. I quite like it. So there we go, that's one side. You can see it looks quite natural, quite lovely. Let's do the other side. What's left on my brush, I'm just going to pop on the bridge of my nose and then just underneath my jawline. Okay, there we go, that's that one done. Next up is going to be our cheeks, and they've come up with a cream and a powder combination. This one retails for 125 Rand. This is the shade I got. Which is the shade I got? Let's have a squiz what it is called. Pleasing Pink. So what I did when I tried this out a little earlier in the week is I just actually used my finger for the cream side of life. So I just popped it on. Let's have a look and see what it looks like. So it looks quite super bright there, but it blends out beautifully. Let me show you. So I'm just going to take a little bit, and for me, my blush placement I quite like a little higher than what I used to do. It just gives me a little bit of a lifted effect, and pop it on and then just blend it up and out. This one does take a little bit of work to blend it out how you want it done. My cheeks are quite pink today. I think it may be just because of the heat, but I think I'm not going to put anything more in terms of the cream on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set it with the powder side of it. So I pop that on my little brush, tap off the excess, and then I'm just going to stamp that on. That looks quite candy pink, doesn't it? But I do know that blush usually does fade during the day, so how it starts off now, it's most likely going to fade off into pretty much nothing a little later. Oh my gracious, actually, I don't know if that's going to fade off into anything. Alright, I'm just going to quickly just pop my sponge with a bit of foundation on just to soften that, because that looks like clown cheeks. So we'll say that this one is quite pigmented. Okay, well, that's that one done. Let's do the other side. All right, that's both sides done. I think the more that I look at my face, I'm not really enjoying what the bronzer looks like. It almost looks like it's like a dirty smudge on my face. I don't know, we'll have to see how it goes during the rest of the day, but for me, I don't know if I like that. Also, maybe what it'll look like in natural light. We'll have a look. Oh, I really did go a little bit ham with this blush, so I'm just going to try my very best just to try and settle that down a little bit there. Alright, okay, I suppose it is what it is. So now we know that that is quite a pigmented blush. Right, for my eyes, I have got a new eyeshadow stick. There were 3 new shades that have been added to their collection. This is called the Aloe Vera Eyeshadow Stick. This one retails for 105 Rand. I just want to quickly dry my hand so that you can just see what this shade looks like. I chose the color Cranberry Crush. So it comes in a wind up pen. It does not have a sharpener, which is a little bit of a sad thing. This is the shade I got. Blends out quite nicely. A bit of blush still there. The stuff is haunting me today. It's like not letting go. Right, let's pop it on my eyes. What I found when I used this for the first time is that it works very well on its first application, but it does not build very nicely. And I also find that once you try and blend it, it kind of all comes off. This works very well with the next product that I'm going to show you, but if I was going to use this on my own, I would actually recommend not getting this guy. It's you can see it's already started to break apart there. It's the strangest formulation. I think it's too creamy, and I've got absolutely nothing on my eyelids. There's nothing there. So the minute you try and blend it out, it pretty much blends into like nothing. So you try and build it up for you, you can see what I'm talking about. It's like it pulls on itself. So this one is not a really good deal. I actually don't think that I would recommend, if you were going to spend your money, don't spend it on this one. I think we can find better eyeshadow pencils, especially in this shade. Essence has got a divine one in this shade. Oh gracious, look now, there's a bald patch here. Okay, let's just try a little bit. Oh, excuse the dog, she's moaning Myrtle today. Alright, I think that's as even as I'm actually going to get it. I have got a topper to put on top of it, which is probably the only reason that I'm keeping it on. They have got 2, well, they've actually got 3, but I bought 2 of them. These toppers are absolutely stunning. I think that they work better with a darker eyeshadow underneath them because they are they're like a topper, so it's very, very sheer, their coverage. This is the first one. What is this one called? This is called 0001, and then the next one is also 0001. Alright, I think I've got it wrong there. Oh, right, beg your pardon. This one is called Cosmic Lights, and then the gold one, which has got a beautiful shift to it. It's got like, oh, it's just so lovely. It's got a pink gold shift to it. This one is called Galactic Glamor. So what I've been doing with them is I'll take the pinky shade and then just pop that on the majority on my eye, and it hides a multitude of sins. They dry down quite nicely too. And then with the gold shift, I just pop that on the inner corner of my eye. What fun is that? Such fun. And then taking a very tiny little brush, I just blend that in just a tiny bit. So that kind of saves it. So I'd say definitely that the two toppers are definitely worth a look at. The third option was like a bluey color, which is a little bit too icy for my personal taste, but if that's what you love, then I would say go and have a squiz at that one. And these ones, how much were these? These were 114 Rand, also cheap as all chips. Alright, let me do the other eye. For eyeliner, they have got a couple of new, well, they've got 2 new colors that have been released. This is their 20-hour ultra precision waterproof eyeliner. This shade in particular is the new one. It's called Rosy Copper. I thought this would be a really lovely one for like your waterline. Let me just show you if you can see. It's very, very subtle, but unfortunately, I mean, I'll pop it on so that you can have a look and see, but it does not last throughout the day, which is a little bit sad. But I really enjoyed the consistency of it and how very easy it is to use. So I went out and I bought myself a brown one. This one is called Brownie. These are very inexpensive. They retail for 58 Rand, and they are incredibly easy to use and so incredibly creamy. You can't really make a mistake with them. You just pop them on. That's just so effortless. It's lovely, and these ones definitely on top of my eyelid have lasted pretty much all day. And it would be worth going to go and see what other colors I can find. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a little bit underneath my lashes and see what that looks like if we blend it out. Just a tiny little bit with a skinny brush. Blends really nicely. I like that. That's lovely. It's nice when you find a product that works well, right? Okay, let's do the other side. My last new product to try is a new mascara. This is called the Perfect Duo Double XL Effect Mascara. So one side has got a volume on it, volumizer, and the other side is lengthening. This one cost, how much did this one cost? 150 Rand. I have used this once before. Can't say I was blown away. Well, you have a look and see for yourself. This is the volumizing brush. It's quite a skinny one actually. And the lengthening brush, also it's like unusual. They're more or less kind of the same shape really. This one is more fibrous and this one is a rubber tip. So I'm just going to pop it in just so it doesn't dry out. Let's just pop it on. We'll go for the volumizing side first. So this is how I do my mascara. I'm not going to curl them. Let's just see how well this works. Okay, there we go. That is with one dip into the pot. What do you think? Volumized? Well, there's definitely something more than what there was, so I think maybe yes, it does volumize. Okay, let me do the other side. I am battling a little bit on the left side. I always battle on this side of my face actually, so I'm just going to try and use a little lash separator. This is also a Catrice lash separator, which works quite well. I don't know, do you have a side that works really well when you do your mascara? And without fail, I always mess. If it's on the bridge of my nose or somewhere, I always mess. At least this will be a good indication to see if we can actually get it off once it's dry. Right, that is both sides with the volumizing side on. What do we think? I think it looks okay. I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's not like the firework mascara that we tried from Maybelline in the last video. Alright, let's see now the lengthening, if it makes absolutely any difference. I'm just going to take the excess off the tip of it there, and let's see how that goes. If anything, I think it works really well to separate the lashes. This brush is a little bit firmer than what the volumizing brush is. So it definitely does feel like it's combing through the lashes. It feels like it is separating them. And actually, I do think that they do look a little bit lengthened actually. That's a little bit freaky. Alright, let's pop it on the other side. Alright, there we go. I actually think that looks really, really lovely. I'm quite keen to see how this goes throughout the day, if it transfers or if it flakes. That looks lovely. Now I'm just going to quickly go grab a little spoolie and see that if I can get this little bit off my face. Okay, I've got my little spoolie. Let's see how we go. Seems to have gotten off, so that's quite quick and easy to do. Right, there aren't any new lip products that I could find. I did find, however, that they have got a very, very nice overnight mask. This is their Lip Loving Cherry Overnight Mask. It is very similar to what the Laneige Sleeping Mask is. I've got that one and I absolutely love it, but this one is a fraction of the price. You get 4 grams of product and it costs you 89 Rand. It has got, the only thing that I'm not a mad fan of is that it has got a slight tint to it. So, which is a bit strange if you're going to wear it going to sleep. But I will say that when you wake up the next morning, your lips feel absolutely fantastic, quite nice and hydrated. And it has a very slight cherry fragrance, absolutely divine. Right, that is all that is new from Catrice on my table. So for my lips, I'm just going to use an old favorite, a L'Oreal lipstick, as well as, oh, this is not an old favorite, it's a new favorite from Maybelline. This is the Lift Eyeliner. And then what I'm going to do is I will meet you in natural light and let's see what this face looks like. Right, here I am, natural light. Yeah, I think my skin looks really nice. I quite enjoy what my foundation looks like. I know that it is supposed to be a matte foundation. I don't think my skin looks very matte. I actually think that it looks very much like skin. The blush is, it's very, very bright. I actually think I might actually just go and try a little bit with the sponge and see if I can just tone that down a little bit. And I really must say, in the natural light, I really do not like what the bronzer looks like. It just makes my skin look quite dirty, actually. I am not a fan of what it's left behind. It's very, very strange. The eye makeup is fine. The little toppers definitely have saved the eye makeup. Yeah, so let's see how the day goes. I've got a very late start today. It's just gone 12 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm going to give this foundation a 8-hour wear test, I think. So I'll see you at 8 o'clock this evening. Right, time for our end of day check-in. It is now almost 8:25 in the evening. I've had this makeup on for 8.5 hours, and for the most part I must say that I am very impressed with the wear time of my makeup. I'm going to zoom you in and you can have a look and see what the foundation is doing. Okay, we are quite zoomed in, so you can see that my foundation, I'm just going to zoom out a tiny bit. There we go. You can see that my foundation has definitely worn well today. It is all pretty much still on my face. What has been wonderful is that it has not settled in any of my lines on my forehead or my 11s. It hasn't collected in the creases of my nose and around my mouth. It hasn't collected there either. Powder has done its job on the side of my face. It definitely has smoothed out those pores and it's not nearly as shiny as the side with no powder. Mascara has not really worked for me today because I can see quite a bit of flaking underneath my eyes. The blush is still very much where I put it this morning. I will say that if you are going to try out this blush affair, a light hand obviously will do you. What I will do is I will link all of the products that I use in today's video in the description box below, that if you would like to have a look and see, you're more than welcome to do that. Eye makeup still looks fantastic. I think that definitely is for the 2 eyeshadow toppers that I used. Definitely saved the day. Definitely a recommend for these 2, but not a recommend for the, what was this one called? The Aloe Vera Shadow Stick. I don't think this is worth your money. I wouldn't buy that one. The eyeliner is fantastic. It's still pretty much on my eyes. On top of my eyes, at least I should say. Unfortunately, in my waterline it didn't last at all, so these ones are definitely ones to be used on the outside. I can still see a little bit of it underneath my eye as well, which is fantastic. It's nice to know. Foundation is an absolute win. The results speak for themselves. Looks fantastic still. 8 hours of wear. I know it says 16, but I'm not going to give it another 8. I'm very happy with how it wore on my skin today. It doesn't feel like I'm wearing a lot of makeup. In fact, it feels quite comforting on my skin. So definitely would give this a recommend. My skin type is, I have a combination skin. I have an oily T-panel, and this product has definitely held up on my T-panel, and I love the fact that it's not too matte. My skin just looks really lovely and healthy. The Aqua Grip Primer, I think that it's definitely done its job. I do think that my skin does look a lot smoother on the side that I used it as opposed to over on this side, only because here I can see my pores are just a little bit exaggerated on the left hand side. So if you are a person who enjoys a primer, I think give this one a go. This one worked really nicely. The Bright and Blur powder, I really enjoyed this one today. I think that if you use a very light hand and you blend in your concealer well, which I didn't seem to do because there's a little bit of creasing, but where I put the powder, it definitely has kept the concealer in place. Brow Sleek, I'll say my brows are still where I put them today, and what's really nice is they don't feel crunchy or gummy at all, so this one definitely has worked for my brows today. My brows are quite stubborn. I'm quite excited to see that there's another brow product on the market that does well with stubborn brows. In terms of the products that I tried today that I really didn't enjoy, that I won't recommend, number one on that list will be the Holiday Skin. I did not enjoy what my skin looked like after this was put on. In fact, you can still see just where I had put the bronzer on. It doesn't look very nice at all. It looks very muddy and it almost just looks very dirty. So for me, this has not worked for me. I don't know if you've used this. How have you used it? Can I get a better result? If you have used it, let us know in the comments below. Maybe you can give us a couple of tips and tricks. And then the last one that I didn't enjoy was the Perfect Duo mascara. For me, this one did not last all day, and the flaking for me is just an absolute no-go. Don't enjoy what that looks like. No transfer on top of my lids, but the flaking, you can't really get away from that. Well, that is it. That is everything. And I will say, for the most part, I'm very impressed with what Catrice has got on offer at the moment. There are quite a few products there that are definitely mature skin approved. So that's quite exciting for us. Well, that is it from me for this evening. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, won't you consider subscribing? It would be so awesome to have you as part of the community, and it's quite exciting to see how our community is growing. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.